The American bank, First Citizens, has agreed to buy the failed lender Silicon Valley Bank. First Citizens will acquire SVB from the United States financial regulator, which currently controls its assets. The family-run bank will take on all of SVB's deposits and loans. It'll also operate SVB's 17 branches. Let's talk to Matt Maley, the Chief Market Strategist at Tabak and Company. Matt, good to see you. First of all, in simple terms, what's next for Silicon Valley Bank now that it's been bought out by First Citizens?
Well, I mean, the whole system right now, it seems to have calmed down quite a bit today, and that's the whole banking system, I should say, and that's something that we needed. I mean, the one big concern is that, you know, the situation with Silicon Valley Bank, with a bunch of startup companies who had so much money concentrated on one bank, would a run on that bank spill over to other areas where it really didn't need to, and so this is giving a lot more confidence back to the system. And we've heard all sorts of concerns about, you know, will this, you know, become a contagion, especially with the things that went on with Credit Suisse. This is a kind of development that shows that there's that some other banks have confidence in what the portfolio they have left over with, and it just has calmed things down quite a bit. And we don't see this big change now of people pulling the big, you know, lots of money out of the smaller banks and into the big banks, and that's very important to calm things down.
As you say, the ripple effect from this financial turmoil has spilled globally. I mean, some analysts, as you point out, warning of a 2008-style banking crisis. I mean, do you think it's really safe now to come out from behind the sofa, or should we go back behind the sofa because of what's coming next?
Yeah, I just don't see this right now, anyway, as being the 2008 style crisis. You know, maybe things do deteriorate more than I'm thinking right now. But the thing is, the bigger banks have had the regulation they've needed, and they seem to be in much better shape. The one concern, though, however, is that is this going to cause a kind of you know, change in lending, the tightening of lending standards that will cause the economy to slow down and still have them cause the markets to go down. So even though it's not 2008 all over again, it doesn't mean we aren't going to face some serious, or at least some somewhat serious headwinds as we move through the year.
Well, can you answer your question? I mean, what is, do you think, the long-term effect of Silicon Valley Bank's demise? I mean, what effect will it have on lending, and who will be hit?
Well, first of all, I mean, we've already seen it with these startups. I mean, a lot of these companies had already been seeing a lot less money coming from the private equity firms and venture capital firms that had been funding them for so long. That's why they needed to go to the bank and get some of their money out. You know, when you already have that pulling in their horns, then you have the banks lending out less money. That's the type of thing that could and probably will, I think, lead us to recession. Again, that doesn't mean we have a 2008-style crisis, but it does mean that people need to be a little bit careful about assuming that just because we seem to have averted a banking crisis, that we still don't have repercussions down the road that will cause markets and the economy to slow down a little bit.
Matt, whenever you have something like this, I mean, critics will call out for government action or regulators' intervention. I mean, in your view, what, if any, action is required to stabilise the financial situation?
Well, we're going to have to get more regulation on the regional banks, especially in the regional banking, small banking area. There was just, you know, just because they are, you know, they seem to be getting their act together now. People, again, for the confidence in the system, and for people to leave their money in these banks, we're just going to have to see more government regulation. And again, that's something that usually doesn't bode well for economic growth, at least in the banking area. So again, it's something that leaves me as some caution and leads me to believe that the economy is going to face some headwinds as we move through the rest of the year.
Matt, good to talk to you. Thanks for your time and expertise. Matt Maley, Chief Market Strategist at Tabak and Company.